Well guys, as most of you likely know, Joe Rogan has gone and joined GETTR, leading a mass exodus from Twitter. He did this in protest against the censorship that's being levelled against Dr. Robert Malone, the inventor of the mRNA technology. As many of you likely know, he was booted off Twitter recently after being fact-checked by a bunch of their so-called experts, who, let's be honest, are going to be a bunch of journos and shit like that. Now, some of yous might also know that Dr. Robert Malone appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple of days ago, which, let's be honest, is a great one to watch, and is probably the reason why Joe Rogan decided to do this. I mean, surely Twitter actually knows that doing things like this really doesn't help their angle of trying to stop people getting the information. In fact, it brings about the Streisand effect that makes more people hear what Dr. Robert Malone has got to say. This is obviously good news, as is the fact that Joe Rogan decided to join GETTR and bring a shitload of people with him. At the time of recording, Joe Rogan is currently sitting on something like 8.5 million followers on GETTR, and that's obviously just in a few days. And what's even better about it is the fact that he's going to have dragged these people over from the big tech tosspots that are trying to censor literally anyone who goes against their narrative. Of course, like every site the world over, GETTR is not perfect and in fact will probably never be. It does censor certain words for various reasons, some of which make no sense to me, but for now it's certainly more open than Twitter. How long that lasts is another thing altogether, because as we've seen with previous social media, censorship does often creep in. You got YouTube, Twitter and all of that used to allow you to say pretty much what you want, but that's not the case anymore. Now obviously I will be using this platform as I do others with censorship infecting them, but calling it a bastion of free speech is certainly not something I'm gonna be doing.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.